a king, one time he met one sage and he asked this sage that, tell me in one word what is the definition of happiness. And the sage said, happiness is like a butterfly. And the sage left. And the king was more disturbed that, what does this mean? How should I figure out this? Happiness is like a butterfly. Many months passed. Now the king was sitting in his royal gardens and he happened to see one butterfly flying in his royal gardens. So he went close. He remembered that sage some months ago had told me happiness is like a butterfly. So he went close to the butterfly to examine closely what that sage meant when he said that. And the nature of the butterfly, it keeps flying when anyone comes closer. So the butterfly kept flying. The king kept chasing behind the butterfly. Now the king was very much offended that how dare this butterfly, I am the king of this kingdom and this butterfly is not stopping. So pulled out the sword and practically destroyed the entire garden. And many hours passed. The ministers and the soldiers, they were all looking at the king. What has happened to our king? Why is he acting so silly? Why is he after this butterfly? So many hours, he was totally exhausted. He was puffing, panting. He was exasperated. Couldn't catch that butterfly. The butterfly was just a few feet away. And then, in that desperation, he sat down. And that was the time when the butterfly alighted on his shoulder. And he got the answer. That happiness in this material world is like this butterfly. It's always few feet away. And the more we chase, the more it doesn't go away out of our sight and out of our reach. It appears that it's there just within our reach. And we are about to grab it, but it just goes ahead. And then many times when we are not looking for it, it just alights on our shoulder. And then by the time we realize that we are happy, it leaves also. So hope against hope. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the story of the 24 gurus. Who knows, who was that? Who had 24 gurus? Avadhuta Brahman, who has 24 gurus. And one of the gurus was a prostitute named Pingala. And this Pingala, this prostitute, her realization was that Asha hi paramam dukkham nairashyam paramam sukham. Asha means hope. Hope in this material world is the greatest form of misery. And be hopeless of this material world, that is the sure short way to success. So hope against hope. The material energy makes sure that we keep hoping. And the cruel time factor. The cruel time factor is such in this material world that it hardly gives us any time to think that what we have been benefited by. So when we are in Krishna consciousness is a lifestyle in which we have to think over what Krishna consciousness has saved us from. Two things. What Krishna consciousness has saved us from and what Krishna consciousness has benefited us with. When we ponder upon these two subject matters, then we'll realize that how that gratitude will naturally shine forth. We have some quotes over here. Expecting that this world will treat you fairly because you are a good person is like expecting a lion not to attack you just because you are a vegetarian. Now, this material world is compared to this lion. And definitely, we call ourselves to be the strictest of all vegetarians, not even onion and garlic and so many other stuff. No mushrooms, no this, no that, and every time we are so observant. But over here, it is spoken about this material energy, that it is so stringent that if we are not on guard, material energy will be on our case. If we all threw our problems in a pile and saw everyone else's problem also in it, we would grab our own back. Because many times we are so much carried away like in Bombay, in front of a church, there was a nice quote which was written that I was complaining to my parents that they have not offered me a new pair of shoes until I saw someone without feet. So many times we are at the complaint counter complaining. There's a nice quote that I was complaining that my parents have not offered me a new pair of shoes until I saw someone without feet. So many times we have to look into this material world, that what we have been benefited even materially. We'll be having some real strong slides which will make us think about that what we have been benefited. Forget about the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. Just the mercy of material energy to survive in this material world, that itself will make sure that how much grateful we should be just for the material energy that we are breathing air right now. There are so many people, the next moment they have left their body just because some disease or some catastrophe, some calamity in their life. At least we know that for the next 1 hour we will be surviving and able to go through this seminar. That itself is, a big reward. So now, what is this kind of a philosophy or philosophy of the fools? Beast of burden, I, me and mine syndrome, doer mentality, God elections. And the classic example of this is Shriman Duryodhan from Mahabharata. That Duryodhan, he was a person who was actually given the personal darshan of Lord Krishna. Can you imagine? He was the one who saw Vishwarup even before Arjun. And Duryodhan was so ungrateful. He was protected by Yudhishthir, by Arjun, by Bhima. When he had gone to the forest to kill them, when they were exiled, he had gone to kill them, and he was arrested by the Gandharvas because he was taking bath in their sarovar, in their lake. And Yudhishthir, he came to know, this story. Yudhishthir came to know that he said, our Duryodhan has been arrested by these Gandharvas, and Bhima and Arjun, they were looking at Yudhishthir, our Duryodhan? Our? And Yudhishthir said, yes. When the third party attacks, we are 105. 100 sons of Dhritarashtra and we 5 Pandavas. We are one family. So you both have to go and you have to release and protect our Duryodhan. And this Duryodhan, he who was, so much becoming a recipient of the mercy and the grace by the Lord and his devotees, he was so ungrateful. And one of the reasons because of this mentality. In the Mahabharata it's mentioned that this I, me and mine syndrome in Duryodhan was so much that Duryodhan, he wouldn't even allow an umbrella to be on top of him. If Duryodhan would be walking and somebody, if it would be like, some hot sun and somebody would bring some umbrella, nothing can go above me. Not even an umbrella. Not even an umbrella.